You ready? Call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Trustee Healy. Here. Trustee Katsinas.
Here.
Trustee Milani.
Here.
Trustee Compass.
Here.
Trustee Reardon.
Here.
Trustee Radishevsky.
Here.
Mayor Pico.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the December 6, 2021 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting of December 6, 2021.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Radishevsky.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Milani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Recreation Advisory Board appointment.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to advise and consent the appointment of Yvonne Shirley to the Recreation Advisory Board.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Milani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radishevsky.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Recreation Advisory Board appointment.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to advise and consent the appointment of Ed Hanley to the Recreation Advisory Board.
Second. Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Milani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radishevsky.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. If Ed and Yvonne can come up, I'll swear you in. I don't have the paperwork to swear you in. I'll go from memory.
Having been appointed to the Recreation Advisory Board
The counties of Cook and Will aforesaid.
in the counties of Cook and Will aforesaid,
Do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Illinois.
and the state of Illinois.
That's my part. And promise to and faithfully discharge the duties
And faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Recreation Advisory Board.
of the office of Recreation Advisory Board.
That's pretty good. I've been given him speech lessons.
Community Pride Award, Pioneers Junior Varsity Football Team.
So tonight I want to present the Community Pride Award to the Pioneers JV football team. We want to present this award because this junior varsity team who started playing together when they were about 6 years old, they went 11-0 winning the River Valley Championship. They also made it to the semifinals in their Wednesday night league as well. So congratulations on that. And as some of you may know, I actually was fortunate enough to play in the first Pioneer football game in 1974. So I'm a little bit older than all you guys. So I have a long history with the Pioneers, and I also was fortunate enough to win a couple of championships, so I know how much fun it is to win together as a team. And you should be really proud of it because you'll remember it all your lives. These chances don't come along very often, and especially when there's 12 teams in the league. So congratulations, and again, you're going to remember this all your life. So I'm going to call you up one at a time, and have you come up and line up here, and then we're going to take pictures. Head coaches Todd Shelton and Chris Stefanos.
Way to go, man.
Assistant coaches Vincent L., Jason Buchel, Chris Montel, Jim Rodriguez, Jack Shelton, and Bill Siegel. I'm going to call the boys up one at a time. Rami Aga, Vincent Anel, Jaden Barron, Samuel Basorka, Cruz Bennett, Jake Buchel, Jack Bullington, Matthew Bullington, Eli Sitlow, Carson Conrad, Christian Sherwanka, Matthew Durkin, Thomas Elliott, Nicholas Flores, Matthew Hallberg, Patrick Hennessy, Adam Hoke, Jad Jaber, Ibrahim Javal, Egan Kelly, Luke Krasinski, Mason Marable, Jordan Messino, Rocco McCarthy, Othman Mized, Joshua Montel, and Ayu Olanrawahu. And I'm sure I messed up some of your names. There's more?
There's more page.
Oh, there's another page? Okay, if I can get to the next page. All right, we got more. Nathaniel Owai, Nolan Rodriguez, Sean Ruiz, Zane Salah, Nick Shama, Todd Shelton, Barrett Siegel, Devin Stefanos, Jake Tomzek, Aiden Toth, Ethan Vinson, Blake Wagner, Brody Wantroba, Luke Walcott, and Shafiq Yassin. Again, I apologize for anyone whose name I messed up. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations, guys. Great job.
Yeah, way to go. That's awesome.
I know it's a lot of hard work and a lot of practices you didn't like going to.
The hot days.
How many
The cold
sprints?
days. Wind sprints. Touchdowns.
Well, yeah, after they were throwing stuff? Yeah, okay. All right, see you. Congratulations. Have a Merry Christmas.
Hi, Merry Christmas.
Congratulations. Good work.
Yeah.
Congrats, buddy.
Hi,
Good to see you, man.
thank you.
Ten more seconds so I clear out all of it.
Okay.
No, you played it perfectly. Especially standing up here, it was a great move. Accounts payable approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Healy.
I move to approve the accounts payable from December 7th, 2021 through December 20th, 2021 in the amount of $4,068,916.42. Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Ely.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Hi.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Consent agenda.
Consent agenda, item A, payroll approval. Item B, Icon Pavilion purchase. Item C, traffic signal maintenance for village, state, county roadways renewal. Item D, fiscal year 2021 budget amendment number 7 approval. Item E, parking lot expansion development petition for rezoning of parcel 1 from E1 estate residential to biz general business amendment to a special use permit for a planned development, site plan, landscape plan, plat of subdivision consolidation. Item F, resolution approving a master license agreement for the collection the co-location of small wireless facilities located within the Village of Orland Park Municipal Rights-of-Way, Chicago SMSA, Limited Partnership DBA Verizon Wireless. Item G, GO refunding bond series 2016 abatement 2021 levy ordinance. Item H, refunding bond series 2021 C abatement 2021 levy ordinance. Item I, GO refunding bond series 2021A and 2021 B abatement 2021 levy ordinance. Item J, amend Village Code Chapter 5, Title 2 Recreation Advisory Board. Item K, appointment of new municipal retirement fund authorized agent for the Village of Orland Park resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to approve items A through K of the consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Proposed 2021 property tax levy public hearing.
The proposed 2021 property tax levy hearing, we are now entering in a public hearing for that proposed 2021 property tax levy.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass,
I move to open the public hearing.
Second.
please call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. The proposed property tax levy for this year is going to decrease our property tax rate by 1%. It will be $13.6 million, so $13,604,255. Additionally, it will also include the library tax levy for operations and debt service, which totals $7,103.603, which is an increase of about 9% on their tax levy. Does the board need to hear anything, since we've talked about this before, do you need to hear anything from the director on this? Okay, great. Do we have anyone here to speak? Okay. Oh, I apologize, the library budget is $7,103,603. Anyone here to speak? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Yeah. Public hearing for fiscal year 2022 budget approval.
So we'll be entering a public hearing for the fiscal year 2022 budget approval. I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. So the tentative annual budget was published and made available for public inspection on December 6, 2022. It reflects total revenues of $181,245,224 and total expenditures of $222,088,158. The variance between revenues and expenditures is funded by prior year's operating surplus and the issuance of some bonds for capital projects. So does anyone wish to answer or, speak or ask any questions at this time? Does the board need to hear anything from the directors from the budget hearing? Nope.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
2022 Parkway Tree Inventory and Urban Forestry Management Plan Services.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to approve the proposal from Great Lakes Urban Forestry Management for tree inventory and urban forestry management plan services for an amount not to exceed $122,000, and move to approve waiving the bid process for tree inventory and urban forestry management plan services, and authorize the village manager to execute an agreement with Great Lakes Urban Forestry Management for tree inventory and urban forestry management plan services.
Second.
And George, could you tell us, just tell the public why we're waiving the bid process?
So this is the second time we have done this. In order to qualify for a grant, we have to use the selected vendor. Maybe Joel can just chime in.
Yes, the Morton Arboretum actually put out an RFP and selected the Great Lakes. And through that process, then we are reusing them as part of the grant to complete that work by end of August of next year. And so we're piggybacking on the previous contract that we used Great Lakes for our parks. We're now using them in the parkways and inventorying our trees.
And we also, because we're using who they RFP'd, we get a grant from Morton Arboretum, correct?
Correct. We do
Okay.
get about
Great.
$12,000.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Orland Park Health and Fitness Center BAS replacement.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to approve waiving the bid process to replace the BAS system at Orland Park Health and Fitness and approve proposal number 3125768 dated December 6, 2021 from Train US Incorporated for $53,281 plus a 5% contingency of $2,664.05 for a total contract price of $55,945.05 and to authorize the village manager to execute all related contracts subject to village attorney review.
Second.
Could you again explain why we're waiving the bid process here?
Yes, on this project, the train system has been the existing system in the building since 1998, about 30 years ago. Obviously, this building unit is ending its life at this point. We are on life, just keeping it alive. So we need to get this new building operating system replaced. So we utilize the train system because it's existing. It's what's there. It's also the cheapest route to go. If we went with the other vendor, we would have to do all the components that tie into all the systems in the building, which is another $30,000. And for a savings to the village and the taxpayers, we went with the cheaper route with the train system that's existing.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Compass.
So just to verify, like, we believe that this system was probably what was in place in 1998, so we're talking about a 23-year-old system. Is that right?
This is the original system.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, so summarize the situation. This is a joy of buying an older building, right? We've inherited some of these costs. The existing system is trained, and all of our other facilities are moving to the disc tech. I think there was about a 47% difference with the disc tech, and they were saying, I guess my question is, did we hear from them that it's going to take them 4 to 6 months if we went with them on the solution?
Distech?
The one that the other buildings, our other facilities are moving towards. I believe it was Distech was the other vendor.
Yeah. Yes, but a separate project.
Joel, the question is the lead time for Distech. Would it be equivalent to the train lead time?
We didn't ask that question. I don't know if, I believe it'll be shorter because they're a vendor nearby and they have the product more on the shelf, but I didn't officially double check that to see if it'd be a little faster.
Okay, but I mean, I think that's one of the pressing concerns that we have right now is that if we went with a vendor other than Train, that it wouldn't be replaced for 4 to 6 months. Is that not accurate?
So the biggest differential here is that the train allows us to. It's the existing. It really has come down to a price difference. If we go with Train, it's cheaper. If we go with the Disc Tech, it will match everything else we're trying to do village-wide in our buildings. But really came down to the cost, and of course, and what happens with the future of the building as well, kind of determined that.
So just, I get it. I think for $27,000, we're probably not going to see the total cost of ownership and maintenance exceeding that amount, just given that it's a fairly large number. But how often are we repairing an automated system like this?
The new one should last us 20 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah, the current one is actually, it's kind of funny. It's on a Windows 7 computer that had failed once, and we actually had to kind of scrap together another Windows 7 computer. That's the only way we can use it. So right now, if this current Windows 7 computer fails, we're going to have to really try to find another Windows 7 computer because we won't have heat.
I was going to say ask Bill, but he probably not even on Windows 7 yet.
Yeah.
98.
He's got the 3.1.
That Apple II Plus is good enough for me.
You're still on a Commodore 64?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fiscal, I'll have to check that.
Okay. Thank you, Joel.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
All the Orland Park Development Petition for Zoning Map Amendment, Special Use Permit for Distributing a Wetland, Site Plan, Landscape Plan, Building Elevations, and Variances.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Healy.
regarding a case number 2021-0425, also known as Aldi Orland Park, I move to approve the petition as recommended at the December 7th, 2021 Plan Commission meeting and as fully referenced below.
Second.
Could we just see a brief?
Yep, Steve, who's the Assistant Development Services Director, can just give a
Just a
little
brief
rundown.
overview of the plat and the plan.
Sure, thank you. The proposal is for a 20,500 square foot Aldi grocery store. It's proposed for the northwest corner of Wolf Road and 179th Street. The development will consolidate 3 parcels that include a vacant house, an unimproved parcel that at one time was approved for a Frangella's Market, and high-end or ComEd high voltage transmission lines and other associated easements. The petition includes annexation of 2 parcels, which will be heard at a future board meeting, and the rezoning of all 3 parcels to BIZ general business, as well as a special use permit for disturbing a very small wetland. The proposed grocery store aligns with the recommendations of the comprehensive plan and complies with the land development code, except for 2 proposed modifications, which are necessary to accommodate the hardship from the ComEd tower and associated easements. 2 residents from the neighboring subdivision came to the Plan Commission hearing inquiring about the proposed development and the potential impacts to their residences. Staff and Plan Commissioners ensure the development mitigates any disruptions to the site or neighboring properties. The Plan Commission unanimously recommended approval of the petition.
And do we have a kind of a picture overview of it, or no?
We do not have it there, but it is part of the,
Okay, so from my perspective, this is a good project for the corner under the power lines. I don't know that you're going to get much better than this underneath the high-tension wires. So it's good to see more development in Orland Park. And what the petitioners were concerned about, I'm not concerned about. I don't generally smell a bunch of, have a bunch of smells coming from a grocery store. I don't think any of us really noticed that. And obviously, any flooding concerns have to be addressed through the planning and the MWRD and all of that, so I'm not too concerned about that. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas?
just had a quick comment about the farthest west access point that allows traffic all ways. It seems like it lines up with the Jewel.
Yes.
Do you anticipate any issues there with, it's a lot of cars coming out on the road there?
They did conduct a traffic study, and they demonstrated minimal impacts to the intersection and the surroundings. The Cook County has one street, and that particular road is a state highway, so IDOT would not approve anything that they feel will cause problems.
So they see in the future that it might be, with the amount of traffic there.
I believe that dedicated turn lanes are going to be put into that. I think the eastbound lane was the one that was talked about at the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Dr. Marsh Nature Trail and Parking Lot.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Radiszewski.
I move to approve awarding the design and construction of the Dr. Marsh Nature Trail and Parking Lot contract to Baxter and Woodman Natural Resources, LLC, for an amount not to exceed $531,393.80. And I move to approve setting aside $53,000 as a contingency. And I move to approve authorizing the village manager to execute all related contracts, subject to village attorney review.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Could you give us a brief overview of the project?
Mr. Mayor and members of the board, thank you very much. I'm very excited to present this project, that we brought this to this point. This project is in our books for over, somewhere around 6 to 8 years. I don't have the exact date on it, but so about 6 to 8 years ago, just a quick background in that regard, that village received a $2 million grant from Illinois Department of Natural Resources for Stellwagen Farm. And the intent was that that farm will be turned into a nature-like environment. But later on, the village changed its plans, and we did not convert that into a nature-like environment, and we continued to farm at Stellwagen. So as part of the IDNR's agreement, we had to either do that or give the money back, but we came up with a third option where we were able to convince IDNR that we will do the same thing at Dr. Marsh property, and they agreed to it. But then we came up with a challenge that the options that the village was looking at was anywhere from $2 million to $5.5 million. Those were the options that I looked at as well. But based on some discussions with the IDNR folks and direction from the village board, we were able to negotiate a solution that is now worth about $550,000. That's what we are presenting. So what the village did on October 1st, we issued a design-build contract, not a contract, RFP, and we received it back on October 29th. 4 firms responded back. Some of the key requirements of this development was, as we agreed with IDNR in writing, is that it will be at least 849 feet long trail, which will have at least 10-car parking now and a 10-car parking in the future, which I'll show you in a minute. Some gazebo for viewing areas, some benches, walking trail, and there is a place where we'll be putting a short bridge. Those are all part of this agreement that we have come up with IDNR. So just to give you an idea, this is Wolf Road here, and this is 155th Street. The south of that is unincorporated, north of that is incorporated, and right here is the trail is going to go, right at this location. And how do I get to it? So this is the project.
That's good. So parking off of 155th Street there, and then a path that goes all the way down with a bridge that crosses all the way down through the marsh.
Exactly. So that's parking lot. You see that the middle one, which is the hatched area, that's going to be a boardwalk, and then we will have asphalt, and then we will have that small little hatched area that you see on the west side. That is the bridge, and then we have that viewing area. So again, from the western edge of the parking lot to the edge of the trail, it is at least 849 feet, which meets IDNR's requirement. As part of this project, we received 4 responses back, and of those, Baxter and Woodman were our lowest bidder, and Mr. Colin McConnell, representing Baxter and Woodman, is in the audience if we have any questions for him. Altogether, the details that has been set, that the project will be not to exceed at $531,393.80. We're also requesting a $53,000 as contingency because this is totally unknown area to us, and not knowing what's underneath the path that we need to accommodate in terms of soil capacity. One more thing that we have done for the convenience of our public works staff is that the entire path will be able to take a 150 F-150 truck with material on the back and be able to drive on it. This is 8 feet wide, and the pavement thickness will be able to support the load of a F-150 truck.
Okay. Thank you. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
just have a question, Rashid. Is 155th Street a dedicated village road?
To my understanding, 155th Street is not ours.
How does that factor in? That whole area is unincorporated and we're connected to a street.
It's incorporated north.
Okay.
They have to allow us to connect. They can't not allow us to connect.
So the county has allowed us to connect it there, and we will go through that permit process.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? So this project was another one that was inherited from the previous administration and from the previous Open Lands Commission. As you heard, for a promise made to IDNR for a couple $1 million, which actually creeped into a $2.5 to $5.5 million project that we were going to be on the hook for. I really want to thank staff for working to reduce the scope of this project with IDNR, which saved us over $2 million bucks. And it's still going to allow people to enjoy the site and fulfill what we needed to fulfill. So good work from staff on this. Call the roll.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
An ordinance amending Title IV, Chapter 3 of the Orland Park Village Code to establish new water and sewer rates.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Reardon?
I move to adopt an ordinance titled, an ordinance amending Title IV, Chapter 3 of the Orland Park Village Code to establish new water and sewer rates.
Second.
Any comments? So I'll give a summary and some brief commentary here. The water and sewer rates are going up 4.5%, but that's less than the 5% that was originally in the water and sewer rate plan. As most of you know, we run the water and sewer fund to break even, and in fact, we've even done some capital projects out of the general fund to help keep these rates down. Because believe me, we are all aware, because we all live in Orland Park, we're all aware of the water billing, and we're all frustrated by what we've seen. But unfortunately, we pass through costs from Chicago. As Trustee Reardon sent me an article several months ago, they've raised their rates to help pay for their broken pensions. And unfortunately, that's passed through to us. We're doing what we can, but it's a pass-through cost, and there's really not much we can do as long as we're on Chicago water. And really, other water systems, believe it or not, would be even worse from an expense perspective. So we are doing a comprehensive water study rate study next year, as well as several projects to try and control leakage that we have and reduce the overall costs on the system. So we're aware of it. We're doing everything we can to try and keep these rates down. We'll continue to do everything we can to keep the costs down because we all live here, like I said, and we all know that these costs are going through the roof. I would say one of the things that I would encourage everyone to do, I mean, we hear a lot about green energy projects and all this other stuff, right? And the reality is solar and wind can't provide base load power, okay? You get your base load power, all these electric vehicles, all that's great, but you're going to get it from natural gas and coal-powered plants and then some nuclear-powered plants, but particularly here in Illinois. But one resource that clearly is limited is water. So whatever you can do to be more efficient with your water, we obviously do that with our buildings now, but as you replace, toilets or faucets or all that, anything you can do with that, anything you can do to, don't run your shower for 5 or 6 minutes till you get into it, those types of things. Even I catch myself, running the water the whole time while you're brushing your teeth or something. All of those things, I mean, you might, run through 1 or 2 gallons of water while you're brushing your teeth. And, just those simple things, because water truly is a resource that is limited. And it's not limited in 100 years from now, it's kind of limited now. And we're fortunate here in the Chicagoland region, we don't have to deal with that because we have a freshwater resource that, frankly, the rest of the world would kill for. So we're very fortunate to not have to think about that, but we should. So just something to think about as we go forward with this, and hopefully that will help keep your water bills down as much as we possibly can. Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
An ordinance establishing certain annual or hourly pay rates and pay ranges and the salary administration schedule for the Village of Orland Park non-represented employees for fiscal year 2022.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing certain annual or hourly pay rates and pay ranges and the salary administration schedule for the Village of Orland Park non-represented employees for fiscal year 2022.
Second.
Any comments? So, a little commentary from me again. So that this increases salary ranges at 3%. So it's the ranges. It's not people's salaries automatically going up. It is reasonable given what's happening to our economy. We have to be cognizant of several things, several factors. We have to be cognizant of the market. We have to be cognizant of our employees, but also to our residents who pay taxes and don't get blanket pay increases. It also makes sense to raise the ranges for part-time employees that are near minimum wage increases, especially in light of the marketplace. We know that it's much more expensive right now to hire part-time employees, so we needed to bring those ranges up in the next 3 or 4 ranges above it. keep in mind that in the future, that may not be the case. We have to be cognizant of the marketplace, and it's quite likely because of these minimum wage laws that we are going to see some compression in our part-time employees, and that's fully expected. We expected this when it started a couple years ago. Because unfortunately, as we've discussed, minimum wage laws are not really driven by the marketplace and sometimes create those types of problems. Right now, they're not, because we know how much I mean, I would say the true minimum wage is probably above minimum wage right now because how hard it is to find employees. But that's not always the case. So just something to think about as we move forward. But in this context, I think these increases actually make sense and strike an appropriate balance between all of those factors. Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
An ordinance providing the levying, assessment, and collection of taxes for the current fiscal year of the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Reardon?
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance providing for the levying, assessment, and collection of taxes for the current fiscal year of the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois, with Exhibit 1 as presented at the December 20th, 2021 Truth in Taxation hearing for a total levy of $13,604,255 and a library levy of $7,103,603 for a total levy of $20,707,858.
Second.
Any comments? Brief comments here. This year we're reducing property tax rates yet again. So it's 30% in the last 5 years total in property tax reductions. Great work by staff, thank you, to allow us to continue to being fiscally responsible with our property taxes. I wish other taxing bodies would do the same. We obviously levy for the library, and the library levies for one building, by the way, over 50% of what the entire village does. Granted, we do have some other revenue sources, but that's $7 million is an awful lot for one building. And it's being increased by 9% this year. So I would encourage the library board to stop this practice and start being a little more constrained with their spending for one building. Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Milani?
Aye.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
An ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2022 and ending on December 31st, 2022 for the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Healy.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year commencing on January 1, 2022 and ending on December 31st, 2022 for the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois.
Second.
Any comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Reardon.
I'm sure you're going to add to this, but thanks again to George and the department heads. My first time going through this. I thought I was very familiar with budgets just through my regular work, but I clearly am not, as well versed as I need to be in civic budgets. So it was very helpful with, what you guys put together for us. I learned a lot. There's a lot of headwinds that we had, and we still were able to, I think, come up with a really good budget moving forward. Sets us up not just for the next year, but for a lot of years, to come in the future. So it was an impressive process, and I look forward to keep learning and moving forward. So thank you guys.
Any other comments? So I do have more to add. I must be the one person who's not really interested in going to see the Bears game tonight.
They're already losing, so.
I'm shocked.
That's not the case.
And I guess the other thing is I'm probably uniquely qualified from anyone in this room because I'm the only one that's been here through all of the last 5 years. When I arrived here and sat through my first budget meetings, I realized that, frankly, I'd inherited a complete mess. Our reserves were projected to be completely depleted by the end of next year. And what is scary is that the board had known this for 5 years prior to that, and it hadn't taken any action to fix it. The then village manager, who was hired by the former mayor right before he left office, and a couple of trustees tried to push restaurant and tax and other tax increases to close the gap. I knew there was a better way, which I fought hard for, and some other trustees fortunately agreed, and that was to tighten our belts. Additionally, on top of all that, we all know our roads were in poor condition, our parks were underinvested in, and, you know, you sit here and you go, how can this happen? Frankly, because money was diverted away from roads and parks, and for the debt that was incurred for the triangle, you know, right down the street, and so right over here. It really, that obviously has been a problem. The efforts we made to change our road spending in 2018 were blocked, as were attempts to rebuild John Humphrey Park as well, right behind us, over there, and as well as to invest in our parks. That was all blocked back in 2018. When the new board came on, literally in the first meeting, which is supposed to be kind of swear everybody in and tap everyone on the shoulder and say hi, and we actually went to work literally that meeting. And we passed, we doubled our investments in roads. We also put into place a plan that basically the one that was blocked in 2018 to do this every year until 2020 through 2023. And according to Joel, we are on track after next year as we stand right now. Now we're going to get them reevaluated, but we should be on a track to get back to normal spending after next year because we'll be caught up. We did the same thing with parks, and we not only reinvested in John Humphrey Complex, we also had a new plan for repairing parks, and instead of getting to one every other year, we've gotten to 16 in the last 2 years. So six of them in 12 years prior, we've gotten to 16 in the last 2, okay? Because we just did things differently and more efficiently. We also put more money into it as well, but, you know, at the same time, you know, we improved efficiencies to cut operational costs, and when we did all of that, and then George comes on board, all of you directors come on board, and we get thrown the curveball of COVID. But, you know, we talked about, George and I talked about, we said, we're going to continue our investments, because if we don't, we're just kicking the can down the road. We're going to deal with them later, because parks still deteriorate, roads still deteriorate, so you still have to invest in your capital. So we continue to do that. These good decisions, these reductions, after the end of this budget year, we will have taken $46 million off of our books since the day I arrived, including the money we're spending this year, which you saw we're going to bond a little bit, and we're going to take, remember those reserves we were supposed to be out of after next year? We have so much in reserves right now, we were able to take that extra money and put it towards these capital projects and still have a healthy reserve. So I can't emphasize enough how important that was for all staff to do that, but also the 3 board members who have been here for a couple of years, and then the 3 new board members with their support since they've gotten here. You know, again, we were projected to be out of our reserves after next year, and we're taking over 10 million of reserves this year to go towards, or next year to go to capital projects instead. So I am incredibly proud of our staff for all their hard work on operations throughout COVID, and also for our board for their hard work to make this possible, to put us back on track. It puts us on the positive trajectory that the people of Orland Park deserve, so thank you very much for all of your hard work, all of you. Call the roll.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Picon.
Aye.
An ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 15 of the Orland Park Village Code, which with regards to the Civic Center Advisory Committee.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 15 of the Orland Park Village Code with regards to the Civic Center Advisory Committee.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Picon.
Aye. And is there anybody here from the Civic Center Board? We've got one person here from the Civic Center Board. Well, I want to thank you and all the members of the Civic Center Board, okay? When I arrived here, the Civic Center had run an annual average deficit since its inception of $230,000 a year. That's how much we were subsidizing it. The board worked really hard to improve this, and they reduced it to about $30,000 per year by their last year. But now that those bonds are paid off, the Civic Center Authority was dissolved and became an advisory board, and then it became controlled by the Recreation Department, which already has an advisory board. So, so your work is done, but not forgotten. Thank you very much for your hard work. Please pass it on to your other board members as well. What you did was great work to get us into that position and also get us to a position to transition something that, was run reasonably as opposed to something that was the sucking chest wound that it had been for, a decade and a half. So the people of Orland Park do owe you a great debt of gratitude for helping make that happen, so thank you.
An ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 11 of the Orland Park Village Code with regards to the Open Lands Fund Commission.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 11 of the Orland Park Village Code with regards to the Open Lands Fund Commission.
Second.
Any comments? So I'm going to give a little background here, just so people understand what's happened with open lands. At the turn of the century, hard to believe we're saying that, but that's like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, the voters narrowly approved a $20 million fund to be used for the preservation of open lands and including acquisition, restoration, and maintenance of those open lands. It created a commission that was put in place during those years, and frankly, they used almost every bit of those funds on acquisition, and they pushed all that restoration and maintenance, which was part of that 20 million, onto the village. Unfortunately, we can't unwind that clock. With the fund nearly depleted, and as we talked about earlier tonight, the Open Lands Commission also left us with a few $1 million in projects that we had to deal with, including the Dr. Marsh. So the promise is that there was no money in there to pay for, so now the village was on the hook for paying for it. I elected, knowing that this was kind of drawing to a close, to put some new commission members in place to help us transition the open lands assets to the village, which the village has always been responsible for anyways, and it basically used the last of that fund. I want to thank all of those commission members that were put on. Are there any of those here? Just the one who sits on both? So, Paul, I want to thank you and all the other open lands, for their hard work. I also want to thank the other previous commissioners too, because it did result in about 250 acres of open lands being preserved. The village remains committed to keeping those open lands in good condition, and I think, there was concern that we're going to throw all that away, and which is silly. It was a silly concern in spite of the attacks that we heard about it. I think it's evident, we can see that in the 2022 projects, which includes preserving Boley Farms. It includes projects at the Stellwagen Farm, and it includes preserving the Humphrey House, which we just accepted. So we remain committed to preserving our open lands, but we need to do it smartly and we need to do it efficiently, which is what we're trying to do. So again, I especially want to thank the recent Open Lands Commission members for your help in transitioning these assets. We all owe you our thanks. Thank you. Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Campus?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Rashevsky?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
An ordinance accepting the assets of the Open Lands Corporation.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled an ordinance accepting the assets of the Open Lands Corporation.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Campus?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Rashevsky?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Any non-scheduled citizens or visitors?
Anybody here to speak? Great.
Board comments.
Board comments. Trustee Compass.
So I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. It celebrates. And as we look towards the new year, in 2022, I hope that we all remember that life does not have a pause button. In our digital age, we've become accustomed to consuming entertainment on demand, and long gone are the days when I was a kid where someone in the family would have to yell, "It's back on," to know that we had to run for the commercial to get back to our television screens. Now I'm telling my daughter about these ancient devices called VCRs, and that turned into DVDs, and now DVRs, and now streaming on demand. We got used to that paradigm, the pause button, putting our life on pause and going to do what we had to do and then coming back and having it restart. Nearly 2 years ago, we applied that paradigm to our lives. We witnessed federal and state government pressing pause on in-school education, pressing pause on small businesses, pressing pause on practicing our faith in our places of worship, pressing pause on non-emergency medical treatments, pressing pause on access to gyms, pressing pause on attending funerals of our loved ones. The list goes on. We all know this list. But the paradigm was a false premise. We cannot pause time itself. We can't pause our children's development and growth. That continues. We can't pause our economy without damaging our supply chain and causing inflation the likes of which we have not seen in 40 years. We can't press pause on depression and mental health issues that have occurred and increased as a result of our actions. We can't press pause on all the other risks that are inherent to mortal lives. I'm not saying we should not mitigate where we can. You should take the precautions that are appropriate for you, absolutely. But for those of us that may be waiting for an authority to tell us that we can unpause our lives, realize, please, that they do not have that power. Even now, news outlets and those that should know better are continuing to sell fear. But there are some that are starting to realize now, after 2 years, that the pause button doesn't work and that we are seeing the consequences and believing that it ever did. My wish for 2022 is a positive one. I hope we can all find the acceptance to embrace it and enjoy the life that plays on to the fullest that we can. We can continue to adapt and move forward together, life without pause, to make 2022 a great year in Orland Park. So with that, I say make it a very happy new year. Thank you.
Trustee Malani?
Well, that was great. Guess, yeah, it's been quite a year we've had, and looking around, we've accomplished so much in Orland Park this year. We've mentioned a lot of it up here tonight. We've renovated 9 parks. We completed our road program for this year. We opened the John Humphrey Complex, and we've introduced so many new businesses, and we've also been recognized as safest city in Illinois. But without our staff and all of our departments, none of this would have been possible. I appreciate everybody's hard work this year, and I'm looking forward to the great 2022 that is ahead of us. I'd like to thank everybody also that came out to Coffee with a Cop event on Friday night at the mall. It was a pretty busy evening in the mall, and people were stopping by, having coffee, talking to our officers, and getting to meet Leo, of course, who had to make a special guest appearance. And got to attend the ribbon cutting at Smashburger this weekend. We welcome them to Orland Park as well. That corner is very busy, and I think they're going to have a great success there. And on top of everything, just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and please enjoy the holiday season with your friends and family. Thank you.
Trustee Katsinas.
Thank you. I think this time of year you look to be grateful in what you have to be grateful for. And if you look around this room here, who's in this room, the village is very grateful to all of you and everything you've done throughout the year. You help make all of us look good and do a good job because of all your efforts. So particularly the police department, not to overshine anyone else, but you have a lot of work cut out for you and you've been doing an outstanding job. So I think it's a time to reflect on being grateful. We live in a great community where there's a lot of active people that are concerned about our community. And I'm led by a very strong team that has the results that the mayor just told you about. So on that note, I look forward to continuing that next year. I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. Thank you.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Thank you, everyone. It was very nice, and I agree. I appreciate all the efforts that all of you do. You work tremendously hard to make our village what it is, and the police to make sure that we're all safe. So thank you for all of your contributions. I can't believe Christmas is 5 days from now. Like, where did the year go? I wish all of you a very happy and healthy Christmas and New Year, and as it is the season to be thankful, but it's also a time of giving, and so as you're giving and receiving presents, to also consider giving your time, and also making donations to charitable organizations. I think that it's hard. Not everybody has a present, Do things, just acts of kindness, check in on a neighbor, or, donate gloves or jackets. Consider donating to the Red Cross. We had a very unusual tornado that blew through the Midwest. Typically does not happen in the middle of December. And so there's a lot of people who are hurting right now, families. Again, this is Christmas time, and they're displaced. So please take that into consideration. I certainly pray for those people who are affected and their families. And I hope that they, manage to still find it in their hearts to have a nice holiday season through all those struggles that they're dealing with. And so it's important to me. I have a relative who lives in Mayfield, Kentucky, and that area was just completely leveled. It was absolutely devastating. So thank God he's okay, but there's a lot of people that aren't. So please take that into consideration. And so I want to end it on a positive note. So Merry Christmas to everybody, and hope you all have a safe and healthy New Year.
Trustee Healy.
Well, being the designated curmudgeon of this board, it's an excellent time to excel in my faith of curmudgery. But there's two things about this. We have 10 days. Within the next 2 weeks, we have two of the best holidays of the year. And the first one is Christmas, which is just a family. You can't think of a more family holiday, a family weekend, and it's just great to be with people, friends, and family. In this world of seeing people trying to destroy the nuclear family, seeing them trying to take religion and out of schools, taking Christmas out of the schools. It's great to see that it got defeated, but it keeps inching forward a little bit more every year, and so we have to be diligent for that fight. But boy, enjoy the family, and it's just a wonderful holiday, so I hope everybody can enjoy the people around them. And the second one is the New Year's, which is a time to set goals, assess what's been done in the last year, and how each of you have progressed individually, and set your own goals for next year. And from ours is just to see what else you can accomplish, and just keep trying to push the envelope on your own world, but be an agent of good and of positive things, and that will serve everyone well if we could all pull for that. Thank you.
Trustee Reardon.
So we talk a lot on this board ever since I've been here, and I think the mayor's probably been talking about it before I ever got here, is about the crime going on in not only Chicago and in the area. And I want to point out something that happened today, finally, whether it's an election coming up because she's doing so poorly polling, or whether it's the push of our police department, other suburban police departments, village boards like ours pushing on. The mayor came out today, Mayor of Chicago, came out today and is going to be pushing a moratorium on electronic monitoring for a list of about 10 very serious crimes. That's something that we've talked about on this board a number of times, such as where the lead charge is murder, attempted murder, aggravated gun possession. The fact that she has to do this is a little stunning, that you have to push for a murder charge to be not put out on electronic monitoring. But again, give her the benefit of the doubt. Attempted murder, aggravated gun possession, felonies in possession of a gun, sex crimes, illegal gun possession, carjacking, kidnapping, or attempted kidnapping, or other crimes of violence. In addition, she's asking for help from the federal government finally to get additional agents in here, additional prosecutors for the hopeful that there's going to be a number of cases that they will have. Because of that, they won't have the resources. So again, whether it's the election, whether it's the push that we've made and others have made like us, it's very good to see that is something that might help our police department, help our town, where some of these people that they see weekend after weekend, month after month, might be actually in jail again. So we got to announce the good with the bad. Hopefully that is something. So positive note, everybody have a great Merry Christmas, happy and healthy New Year. Thanks.
Thank you. So piggybacking on what Trustee Compass said, he's obviously a little bit younger than the rest of us because, he was worried about commercials. Bill, when he was that age, he was listening to the radio. Me, I was the channel changer. And also, for those of you who remember, sometimes I was told to hold the antenna and just stand right exactly where I was so you could watch the show. So you got a little better than we did, Sean, on that regard. Regarding the police, we continue continue to see felons that are out on bail with illegal handguns, carjacking throughout the region. Some of you saw my post from this weekend where we had a code red because of it, because of carjacking in Crestwood that bled over to here. Our county sheriff said that we should all give them access to being able to track our cars, and that manufacturers should put that in. I have a different approach. How about locking the people up that do it, as opposed to asking us to give up rights? I mean, I'm sure most of us would allow them to track our cars, but that's not the point. It's not about us. It's about the criminals. How about this? And finally, as Trustee Reardon pointed out, the mayor of Chicago suddenly coming on board after so many years of saying, let them free. How about keep them locked up? Let's try that approach. You know, unfortunately, every week we have something new. I believe me, I have a lot to choose from each week. Over a 2-week period, I can probably pick 5 or 6 different things, but we have one here where, you know, that we set up on a vehicle that we saw you know, basically they had a pistol laying on the floor, so we saw it. So we just sat on it and waited and got the driver, and he was a convicted felon. I know you're shocked and surprised by that. He was taken into custody, and we got charges. So that's one thing. We are getting more charges, I would say. UUW, possession by a felon, which is a Class 3 felony, and then possession of drugs with intent to deliver, also Class 3 felony, and resisting of a peace officer, resisting arrest. The bad news is now that we're starting to get charges on a regular basis, a few $100s and he's out. So, okay, so we've got the charge part. We seem to start getting that. Now we need to start getting back to the, you know, no monitoring, none of this recognizance, and none of these cheap bails. We need to start locking these people up. It's not like this isn't a previous offender with a long list of crimes in the past. So there's the bad news. The good news is, like we get this every couple weeks too. I just want to, this is an email, I just want to take a moment of your time to let you know of an encounter I had with one of your police officers. My car died on LaGrange Road near Target on the afternoon of December 16, 2021. I was flustered, embarrassed, and my anxiety was through the roof, so much that I'd forgotten how to unlock my car door without power. Traffic was backing up, people were honking, and some were not obeying the traffic lights, as I'm sure people were understandably frustrated. But Officer Jordan Legreese arrived on the scene and was absolutely awesome. Not only was he incredibly calming and professional, but he made a very stressful situation bearable. He was helpful, understanding, and made it obvious he was there to help. Some might say he was just doing his job. However, as you well know, it's not an easy occupation these days. Officers never know when they'll be walking into and often put their life on the line, even in a situation like this. All it takes is one aggressive, defiant, or agitated driver, and it can all go south quickly. Officer Legreese did a wonderful job and should be commended for his composure, demeanor, and professionalism. The Orland Park Police Department is lucky to have him representing both the force and the city. Thank you for your time. So I get those every week too. And I'll tell you what, I know Jordan did a great job. I can tell you that every one of our officers would have done the same thing. He happened to be the guy that day because we have a phenomenal police force. So, and I know you hear that a lot, Chief, but and I don't want to forget our other departments, but I know what you guys face on a daily basis with what's been going on throughout the country. I also want to make sure to call out our other departments. The village manager's office does a great job keeping all this stuff under control through COVID, everything else that we've had. Our communications department continue to keep people updated with what's happening. Our IT department, which when I arrived here, our IT department was operating on the Commodore because it was way behind. So we've taken some large steps on IT. Public Works, as we've talked about how far we've gotten with our road program, and now you're also involved with redoing the parks as well. So just a phenomenal job from staff of getting all that done. And I know you got more on your plate now with buildings and vehicles and all that as well, but you guys have done a great job. Recreation, I can't say enough about how much effort you guys put in to everything. I know you guys are the fun department, and it shows with your people because they seem to have fun doing what they do, and I know we got a chuckle out here out of Joel, but even his department actually looks like they're having fun when they're out helping your department with events. They don't look so much like that when they're busy doing work in the sewer. So imagine that.
Location.
Development Services, a great job. I know that there's been a lot of frustration from builders, homeowners, construction. They've dealt with almost double the permits that they ever have before. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of construction and permitting that they've had to deal with, along with, just a lot of improvements in staff and processes. So great work. Engineering, we brought a lot of that in-house, and, again, thank you very much for all your hard work on that. I know we had a lot of projects going on, and we've had a lot of projects engineered, and I know that you're responsible for a lot of those RFPs that you oversee, so I appreciate it. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about finance with the budget process we just finished today. I know it was a lot of hard work. I know you uncovered a lot of stuff, some of which was identified before you got here but wasn't fixed, and you fixed it and changed how it was coded, how it was. People don't think that's a big deal, but it's a big deal when you don't track things in the right place. When you pay for maintenance costs out of capital, it's a huge deal because it impacts your ability to fix your roads, and it hides other things. So it's really important to have very clean finances so you can actually see what's going on. And they weren't necessarily that way, and hopefully going forward with the fixes we've got, it will be. So I really appreciate everyone's hard work on all that kind of stuff. 2022, it is going to be the year of returning to normal. We're going to get there. Okay, I think you see it here, you see it in the people of the village. We're done. We're going to move forward. We're going to we've been living with this in the village as much as we can for 2 years. We've been demonstrating to the rest of the world even, you can live with this and move forward. So we're going to do that, and it's going to get better, and we're going to see more towns, more places, more states doing that. Hopefully we'll see the state follow suit with what other states have done and do that here as well. So that, because that's what we need. We're just going to have to move forward. It's also going to be the year of the White Sox. This is going to be their year. So with that said, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, and please have a Happy New Year and be safe out there on New Year's. So if you are out there partaking, please make sure you have a designated driver, because don't count on Uber because they're going to charge you $50 to go 3 blocks. So make sure you've got a designated driver and be responsible. With that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman.
Trustee Compass.
Move to go into executive session for A, approval of minutes, B, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performances, or dismissal of specific village employees, C, collective negotiating matters between the village and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, D, pending litigation against, affecting, or on behalf of the village, or when found by the board that such action is probable or imminent.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pika.
Aye. And we will be coming out after closed session for a few votes.
the email.
Meeting, call the roll.
Trustee Healy. Here. Trustee Katsinas.
Here.
Trustee Malani. Here. Trustee Compass. Here. Trustee Reardon.
Here.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Here.
Mayor Pico.
Here.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to approve the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission settlement contract lump sum petition and order with petitioner Ernest Sutherland in a lump sum amount of $259,637.50 in full and final settlement of all claims for injuries and aggravations thereof resulting from petitioner's accidental injuries occurring on or about 2/27/2018.
Second.
And just so that the public knows, this is an officer that was rear-ended and basically can no longer work because of it. He was rear-ended by someone on a DUI, he was uninsured. So unfortunately for him, he will no longer be able to work. And unfortunately for the taxpayers, they'll be on the hook for that because this person, basically we won't be able to, more than likely we'll never be able to collect from. So call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to approve the settlement agreement and mutual release by and between the Village of Orland Park and Sky Zone LLC regarding the revocation of Sky Zone's business license business.
Second.
And real quick on this, tomorrow we will have information coming out on the details of this so that the public sees everything that happened, but I believe it's a good result at the end of the day based on what happened and then the follow-on court case as well. So call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to approve the memorandum of understanding by and between the Village of Orland Park and the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 399, regarding compensatory time.
Second.
Call the roll.
Who's the second? Sean?
I was.
Yep.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Radiszewski.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. We'll adjourn. Merry Christmas, everybody.